and welcome to Diecast Restos. I'm Jason and this is a Lesney Matchbox 42B Studebaker Lark Wagonaire. It was produced between 1965 and 1969. They came in a variety of shades of blue, but my example has definitely been painted over in yet another shade of blue previously. It has a broken windscreen and looks to be missing its sliding roof panel. The tow hook has snapped off too. Here's how it would have looked when new, in one of the many shades of blue. And this is the real vehicle it is based on. Replacing the 42A evening news van in 1965, the Studebaker Lark Wagonaire was initially painted in a dark blue, similar to that of the Comma ice cream canteen. The sliding roof panel was painted the same colour as the rest of the body at this point. It came with a clear plastic window piece and a plated base that included the grille, headlights and front and rear bumpers. On closer inspection, it turns out my roof panel wasn't missing, just stuck firmly inside the rest of the casting. This paler blue panel indicates it wasn't one of the earlier models. With the base including all of those aforementioned features, no painted trim detailing was applied on the Lark. The colour was changed to a mid-blue, and at the same time the roof panel was recoloured to a very pale blue, similar to that of the 42B Ford Anglia. This panel remained the same colour until the model reverted back to its original dark shade of blue for the final run. Between times though, the body was again recoloured, this time to a turquoise shade, as seen in places on this model. As an entertaining addition to the model, a white plastic hunter and his dog were included in and on the packaging. The real car that this is based on is a Studebaker Wagonaire, itself based on the underpinnings of the third generation Studebaker Lark. They were built between 1963 and 1966. Studebaker took the regular Lark station wagon and modified it above the belt line to add a retractable roof. The design was the invention of American industrial designer Brooks Stevens. He had developed the Jeep Wagoneer, introduced the same year as the Wagonaire. He was tasked to expand Studebaker's limited lineup without spending out on retooling. The roof that resulted was inspired by Stevens' own 1959 Scimitar concept car. 3 were built, with one featuring a sliding roof. On the Wagonaire, it was designed to manually retract into the roof section above the passengers. This then left an open cargo area which Studebaker boasted could be used to transport refrigerators in an upright position. The car could seat 5 with the optional front bucket seats, 6 without. If fitted with the 1965 rear-facing third row option, it could seat 8. These seats took the space of the spare tyre, so the car was fitted with puncture-resistant ones all round. Early buyers of the Wagonaire complained of leaking roofs to the front of the sliding section. Seals were redesigned, but it was important that owners kept the drainage tubes clear. As a result of these issues though, a fixed roof Wagonaire was offered in January 1963. They were sold for $100 less, but it was not renamed as a new model as it was a delete option. Production of the Wagonaire continued in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, after Studebaker's South Bend, Indiana assembly plant closed in December 1963. The Canadian 1964 model year Wagonaires were the last to carry Studebaker's own engines. These were 194 cubic inch inline 6s on regular production models. Beginning with 1965 cars, General Motors provided Chevrolet 6-cylinder and V8 designs. These models were only available with the sliding roof. The fixed roof made a return on 1966 models, but the third row was no longer an option. The 1966 Wagonaire was made a model in its own right, which now blended exterior features of the Commander and the interior trim of the sporty Daytona. The Daytona version of the 63-64 Wagonaire could be equipped with a 283 cubic inch V8, 4-barrel carburettor and a column shift manual transmission with overdrive. This had the bucket seats I mentioned earlier and centre console automatic transmission selector as options. The Lark and Wagonaire went out of production in 1966, with Studebaker leaving the automobile business on March 17, 1966. Now here then are all of the parts that make up my model Wagonaire. The first pieces to be reunited are the body and roof sections. I've got to say I'm really pleased with how this rattle can colour combo has turned out. After the reproduction transparency comes the cleaned interior piece, complete with a working tow hook. Finally, I position the plated base piece over the body, then connect to both front and rear posts with a 3mm M2 laptop screw. Let's revisit how this 42B Studebaker Lark Wagonaire looked before I set about fixing it. The windscreen badly needed replacing, as did the incredibly patchy yet overpainted body paint. The base piece needed some of that paint removing as well as a good polishing. To start with, I thought that I needed to replace the sliding roof, but that was tucked safely inside between the body and what was left of the transparency. So now let's take a look at it after a makeover. First of all, I have to say I'm really pleased with the paint. The turquoise and pale blue is a winning combo for me, and Tamiya's coral blue and coarser grey do the job perfectly. Obviously, that window transparency has been replaced by a reproduction part, and the tow hook has been reinstated. The bumpers and grille are looking excellent after a polish, but I do feel like there is something missing from this model. Ah yes, that's better, our complimentary dog and hunter duo. A weird but definitely appreciated addition to the 42B set. Well, that is it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, please leave a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. If you aren't already, please consider subscribing. And if you'd like to help support the channel, you can help by pledging on Patreon or YouTube memberships. But all that leaves me to say is thanks for watching, and I'll see you again for the next one. Bye for now.